All right, audience of two, say hello.
Hello.
All right, here y'all are gonna have to film. The 2020 Masters Tournament was one of the most memorable sporting events that I have ever watched. Dustin Johnson won the tournament by 5 strokes, which in golf terms could be considered a blowout. A major reason why this was so memorable for me is because of Dustin Johnson's background. So Dustin Johnson is a superstar golfer. He's also a Chanticleer and a proud South Carolinian. Today, I'm going to pay tribute to Dustin Johnson, whose story shows us what is possible as a Coastal Carolina graduate. I'm also going to focus on his journey from Coastal Carolina to the top of the golf world. And my goal is really to honor him for what he has accomplished on the golf course, as well as show what his story means for current and former students. Dustin Johnson's story starts close to home. So he grew up in Columbia, South Carolina, playing golf out of the Midlands Golf Club. From there, he decided to play college golf at Coastal Carolina, where he had a very successful career. He went on to win multiple college tournaments. He also earned All-American honors, and he had such a great career that he was able to turn pro early on in 2007. So in his first 13 seasons as a pro, Dustin Johnson won a PGA Tour event, which this record can only be beaten by Jack Nicklaus and Tiger Woods. So 2 people that if you're going to be beaten by anyone in golf, those are the 2 people. So pretty impressive for Dustin Johnson. He's also gone to win 2 majors. He won the Masters and he won the U.S. Open. And he has boasted longest driving distance for many years on tour, especially in 2015. And he was also ranked world number 1 in 2017. He had the 5th longest run holding that world number 1 spot. So Dustin Johnson was a member of the PGA Tour until 2022, where he recently signed to the Live Golf Association. So that's where he continues to play to this day. So Dustin Johnson has a long and storied career, and he is one of the absolute best golfers during his era. I would say what I admire most about Dustin Johnson is just the way that he carries himself. He's known as kind of a laid-back but fierce competitor, and his career has had some major setbacks. So he has had some brutal losses over his career. One of them in 2010 in the U.S. Open final round, he was up by 3 strokes in the final round. He ended up placing 8th in that tournament. So he did not finish out. It was a terrible day for him. He had multiple issues throughout the day, and he did not go on to win that. So the other one is in the U.S. Open in 2015. He had a 12-foot putt, and he just had to get it in 2, which for a PGA professional is not asking a lot. And he actually 3-putted, ending with a missed, I think it was a 4-foot putt. So it was brutal. I was watching it. It was hard to watch. But from this, he's overcome, some of these major low points and been able to come out, in the future. Past 2015, 2010, 2 of his worst losses, he has placed number 1 in the world. For Coastal students, having faith in during those low points that we're going to come out on top if we work hard and overcome those difficulties, as well as knowing that you don't really need to come from like a giant, storied, big famous program. Coastal, especially at the time, was relatively new in that sport. That you can still have an impact from those smaller programs, and he really does show how success can truly excel from a Teal Nation background. So in the end, Dustin Johnson, his story is more than just golf scores and victory. It's about a regular kid from South Carolina who went to Coastal, put the time in, worked on his craft, was able to, come back from some major setbacks and face some major problems with finishing some major tournaments throughout his career. But even through persevering through that, becoming the major champion that he has twice, number 1 ranked golfer in the world. His life reminds us that a place like Coastal can really be whatever we want it to, depending on how much work we put in. It directly affects our end result. So I encourage you to take Dustin's story, Use it for motivation in your own life. Put hard work in everything you do. Be grateful for your time at Coastal. Use the resources to your advantage and put in the hard work. And when things don't work out the way that you want them to, keep pushing. Thank you.